Hello and welcome to Cinecrisis. Today we're going to be taking a look back at one of the first television to movie adaptations ever put to the screen, Jack Webb's Dragnet feature film from 1954. Now for me, Dragnet is a perennial favorite, specifically the 1967 revival series, which was re-aired on Nick at Night and TV Land when I was growing up. But I also have a fondness for the original 1950 series, which ran from 51 to 59. At the peak of the show's popularity in 1954, Warner Brothers and Jack Webb released an all-new feature-length movie based on the Dragnet franchise, with some important distinctions: color, widescreen, increased violent content, and a longer running time. Everything else is status quo Dragnet, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Sergeant Joe Friday and Officer Frank Smith are hot on the case of a gangland killing after the body of a slain crime syndicate member is found brutally shot dead in an execution-style murder, and must piece together the facts in order to find the perps and bring them to justice. If you can't tell already, I'm quite the admirer of Jack Webb. In all honesty, he's not a dynamic actor or even really quite special as a director, but as the overall architect of this franchise, his contributions in all aspects, in front of and behind the scenes, make him an interesting subject of study. He was always trying to innovate, always trying to move the needle further, and he never gave up on a good concept, constantly adapting with the times and bringing something new when he would revive a previously dormant concept. As I mentioned before, other than the surface level cosmetic changes, this is pure Dragnet, straight up. It's dry, it's clinical, it's everything you would expect from the show, and it's great. Webb's directing style is for sure very matter-of-fact. It's understandable in the crunch of television production, especially given the nature of the scripts, which were equivalent to radio dramas on TV, and here he continues that plain style, but with a few more dynamic shots here and there. If you're familiar with the show, you'll recognize the regular group of Jack Webb players that all appear here. Stacy Harris, Vic Perrin, Virginia Gregg, and Olin Soule are among those that I instantly noticed. Webb was definitely loyal to a certain group of people that he knew were reliable, and it's impressive. Aside from the company of actors, he also brought along a lot of the same crew members from both the radio and TV series here for the film. Friday's partner of the time is Ben Alexander as Officer Frank Smith, and I stand by my claim that he's a complete bore compared to Harry Morgan's Bill Gannon. I can't think of anything memorable or interesting that he does here in the movie, as is the usual case with Officer Smith. Dragnet 1954 has all the classic Jack Webb stylistic tropes: extreme close-ups, rapid-fire dialogue, the obligatory jazz inclusion, and best of all, the smart comebacks from Friday himself. At the heart of the movie is still a quite relevant debate regarding invasion of privacy and the Fifth Amendment, which the movie takes a rather authoritarian viewpoint on. But given the altruistic motives of the police force in the film, it makes sense in the context of the times, but feels quite dated in hindsight. I don't think old-fashioned is necessarily a derogatory term to use to describe this, so I'll use that. This is a very old-fashioned perspective on policing and our society, and it's a fascinating retrospective look back. For instance, Friday and company are quite pleased with themselves for their perpetual outright harassment of the main perp, Max Troy, in the film, after he's let off easy by using his Fifth Amendment rights at the grand jury deposition. Friday and Smith constantly tail Troy and stop and frisk him at every opportunity, multiple times per day in public, which wouldn't be so celebrated in this day and age. The movie is truly grand in scale and amplifies the mood of the Dragnet series severalfold while staying true to form, and also includes the traditional opening narration and the Walter Schumann theme song. Dragnet also gives us a lot of insight into the inner workings of policing in its time period, specifically the intelligence aspect, which had not been previously delved into. It features a lot of state-of-the-art spy equipment, technology which belongs in a museum today but was cutting edge at the time. Dragnet 1954 is very much an extended special episode of the television series. Overall, the plot is rather convoluted and confusing, and the whole point seems kind of moot because we're roped up in the murder investigation of a criminal we have no empathy for. But regardless, despite being the most non-charismatic lead, Jack Webb as Sergeant Joe Friday remains an endearing hero, and as an important milestone in the Dragnet franchise and for Webb himself, the film is still an enjoyable watch over 65 years later. And so for that, I give Dragnet 1954 3 stars out of 4. If you like this review, please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time.